Is it Joker over here?
That Grinch smile.
Fucking. I can't do it that much. Whoa.
Want to know how I got these
Joker.
scars?
Doesn't it say why so serious on there?
It does.
Ooh, there we go. Nice. Love it.
Want to know how I got these scars? All right. Welcome back to the BGPerform podcast with my co-host, Coach Gerald Hayes. It's been a week. We managed to both plan a vacation, I guess. Or not even, it wasn't a vacation, it was a wedding. Just managed to both go away on like the same week, essentially, which is good and bad. Good because we're both here now. Bad because we didn't get a podcast done last week. But we are here.
We're here now.
And we are back to it. Jerry, how was Puerto Rico?
It was awesome. It's gorgeous. The weather was great. Water is nice. More than nice. It's perfect. We went on a zip line. Got up to like... did I tell you about that?
No.
I didn't tell you about it? Dude, it's a 2-mile long zip line.
You texted me. I remember you texted me, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 2-mile long zip line, and it goes from one peak to another. And in those 2 miles, your speed while you're lying down, like strapped in it, you get up to like 75 to 90 miles an hour, depending on like the size and aerodynamics of your body. Mm-hmm. So we were flying over the peak. That was really cool. Tried a ton of new foods. Unfortunately, got struck with a cold that's still kind of kicking my butt a little bit. But, you know, that was when we got back from the trip. So I'm all right with it. All right. What about you? How was San Diego?
It was gorgeous, bro. I've never been out there before. It was nice. The weather is always perfect out there. Saw so many Forerunners, and I've never missed my car before. I just got a new car. A new used car. Toyota Forerunner. Maybe I shouldn't tell people what I drive, but I've never missed my car
the color of the license plate
when I was away, and I like missed my car. Like I wished I was driving my car, and yeah, but also crazy story. So I sent the picture to you. So my girlfriend's birthday was in March, and as part of her birthday present, she knew we were going to San Diego for her brother's wedding. She was like, I want to go stay at this hotel. It's called the Lafayette. Great hotel if you ever go out there. And I was like, all right, yeah, this is her birthday present. You know, we'll go hang out. She'll enjoy it, whatever. We get there. And I'm like pulling up to the place, and I'm like, all right, there's a gym across the street. That'd be great. That's usually the one thing I usually look for, no matter what. And I trained at this terrible Crunch Fitness in San Diego, like just awful place, all week when I was in San Diego. And I was like, all right, I'll go check out this gym across the street. So we go inside, we check in, we get in there, and the lady at the front's like, oh, there's a gym here in the hotel as well. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So we go down, check into our room. We go hang out by the pool, we check in, and I was like, oh, let me go look at the gym, just to kind of see what it looks like. I'm expecting like a shitty hotel gym with like, 6 dumbbells, a treadmill, a bench, whatever. Place is like fucking outfitted with Sorinex equipment. Now, mind you, I don't know if you know about gym equipment, and if you do know about gym equipment, Sorinex is like the best equipment you can buy. Like, I know a lot of people know Rogue because of like CrossFit, but Sorinex is like the premier weight training equipment in most like high level S&C rooms. Like if you know what you're doing, you're buying Sorinex equipment. Mm-hmm. And it was Sorinex racks, Sorinex cables, Sorinex cable stacks on both sides with a lat pull down, Sorinex barbell, Sorinex benches, a deadlifting / Olympic lifting platform, and calibrated bumper plates from Sorinex with custom logo of the Lafayette, I believe, on there now that I think about it. Just That's absolutely nuts. Like some of the best weight training equipment I've ever seen in my life in this place. So now it's my favorite hotel. Next time I go there, I'll be staying in the Lafayette. It was expensive, but maybe that's why. I should have asked who built out that gym.
Call.
I might call and see.
Just send him a message and say thank you.
I just want to know who it is. Say thank you for understanding me.
It has to be like an ex-pro athlete who just owns a hotel.
It's got to be
like an ex-college guy or somebody who I've
never been more, like, I don't know what to describe it as, but like I've never been more surprised about anything in my life.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing to be surprised about.
100%.
You didn't find any poop in your pants or anything, so.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So today we're going to be getting back into episode 2 of our first Chat GPT episode that we did. And if you remember from a couple weeks ago, essentially we asked Chat GPT to make us a program for like a week, essentially, based off of so we wrote, build me a 4-day training program for a beginner who has never stepped foot in the gym before, right? So obviously we talked about this a little bit. Jerry and I kind of dove into why this was nuts, whether it be the hypocritical thoughts of not doing too much volume and then programming like 30 total sets or whatever it was.
We don't want to make them too sore, so let's murder them instead.
They can't feel soreness if they're dead.
Exactly.
So we're going to go through today. We're going to talk about how we could actually change this and make it into like an actual training program that you could follow and get something from. So should we share our screen?
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
We'll share that. I got to figure out how to do the like get our face in here as well, because when I do this screen share, it doesn't allow me to get our face in there. But anyways, so we'll quickly go over. So what we'll do is we'll share our screen for the first couple minutes so we can look at the workout, and then we'll get back to our face. But so this was the upper body day 1. So what I want to do right now, I want to dive in, Jerry, you and I, how would we change this so that someone watching this could use this as like an actual training program? So anything you want to start with?
Let's cut down the volume quite a bit.
Okay. So if we're going to look at like a general week, right? If someone's new, what are some of the things you're going to recommend right off the bat?
I mean, I think some exercises should be a little higher repetition, which is fine, but they don't understand how to like scale too much with it. And I think that an easy way to go about it is cut the old school mindset of hypertrophy range and all that stuff out. I mean, a classic 6 to 8 is good for a lot. It gives them a rep range. They could play around with different weights and understand what it feels like to possibly get closer to failure. If they're hitting 8 reps and they're like, all right, I'll try and go up, and then they only hit 6, they're like, oh, so this is that weight. So I think instead of define reps, maybe give them a rep range to play around with at first. Probably be a good idea.
Okay. I want to think about this in a little bit of like let's go a little bit general first, and then we'll kind of get back into the program. But like if someone came to you, like I've never stepped foot in the gym before, I did a program on ChatGPT, this is what it gave me, right? How would you initiate that conversation, and how would you kind of like help them design the program? Because like
first I would ask to see it.
I'm like, okay, what'd you say?
I was gonna say first I'd ask to see the program.
Yeah. So like for example, right? We got a warm up here. So we got remember the arm circles, just sitting here. So like I would look at first the week, right? So I would say, okay, what's your week look like? So we got day 1, day 3. Wait, I just realized this is day 3. Oh no, day 2, day 3.
Yeah,
sorry.
you skipped day 2 first.
Yeah. Okay. So we got day 1, day 2, day 3. So if I was gonna sit down with somebody and they came to me and were like, hey, I want to work out, right? First, I would kind of lay out what their week would look like. So if we're looking at week 1, right, I would say I'd probably give them 2 full body workouts, 2 to 3 full body workouts, right? And then I'd probably give them some sort of like conditioning day or like aerobic day.
Mm-hmm.
Just writing this down on a paper here.
Yeah.
So that would kind of be the outline that I would start with. I would say, okay, if you were coming to me and you wanted to train during the week, if you've never stepped foot in a gym before, we'd want to see 2 to 3 days a week of like a full body lifting session, which I think this was also something that I didn't enjoy about the programming here. And then 1 aerobic session, right? And then from that, we'd break down.
Didn't this also build out 4 days, not 3? I'm pretty sure that it's upper, lower, upper, lower.
Oh, it did.
Yeah,
you're right.
It built out 4 full days. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, because I remember how much volume that was. So
yeah,
off the rip, right? This is telling you 4 days. I would go 4 days, but I would go 3 upper body days and then 1 like aerobic type day, right? So
Three
I'd
upper
start
body
there.
days.
What'd you say?
You said 3 upper body days?
Full body days. Sorry,
Okay,
full
there you
body
go.
days. So that would be a start, right? Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, so I mean that's a really good start is like first of all figuring out how often they're coming in the gym. If we're doing maybe those 3 days in one like aerobic day, I think that's good. But then we could also maybe look at what did we put for their goal? Just general fitness, right?
Yeah, this is just someone who just wants to, like, again, is learning the gym, trying to get in shape, that sort of stuff.
Let's build out like a skeleton for each day. That's like what we're gonna do next.
Cool.
It's
So
like know what we're hitting on those
week
days.
layout is good. Now, if we're looking at the week, I usually personally like to go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. That's just like how I train because I like having those days as like my main lifting days. And then for me, usually I run on Wednesdays, and then Saturday I just kind of do like some extra stuff just to feel good. But in this case, we'd have Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday as rest days, right? Now this would change based on the individual. Like if Saturday and Sunday were better days for you, that's fine. It's just 4 days of training, 3 days of resting right now in that schedule early on. Okay. Now, Monday, and I think how I usually do this also is Monday would be a full body lift. And
then
then
main,
what?
and then like setting a main
The main?
for the
What do
day,
you mean? Oh, yeah.
like setting a main lift. Yeah.
Yeah. So full body lift. And then Friday would be a full body lift. Friday or Thursday, one of these two would be a full body lift. And then Tuesday would be an aerobic day. And then ideally, if you'd want to do this the right way, it'd be full body on Monday, full body on Thursday, and then it would be aerobic day on Tuesday and Friday. Right? So that's how I would probably do that. Or I would do another way I would do this is I would do Monday full body, Tuesday full body, Thursday aerobic, Friday full body. That's just one of the ways that I would do it, right? There's a lot of ways that you can kind of piece these together, but the biggest thing is understanding you have at least 2 full body days and 1 aerobic day inside of that week, and then adjusting kind of based on the person, the outcome, that sort of stuff. Anything you want to add there?
No, that's good. I was gonna say you already added that last part, like adjusting to the person. So if somebody wants to lift a little bit more during the week, maybe give them the 3 full body days. If they're just like, listen, I just want to be in the gym and work, I'd say 2 with the 2 aerobic days.
Yeah, I like doing aerobic days early on because it's not really like a rest, but it's a very, it's an active day that doesn't take too much out of the body if you do them right.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got the ideal week, which is 2 to 3 full body workouts, 1 to 2 aerobic sessions per week. We'll put, and then we have the skeleton of the week. So we got Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, full body aerobic, or full body aerobic, full body, something like that. It doesn't really, the biggest thing you want to pay attention to is if someone's lifting 3 days in a row or 2 days in a row, how are they going to feel after that? And that's just the biggest thing I like to watch out for. But really that would work. Now, if we're going to dive into these workouts, right? So let's take day 1, for example, and we have this monstrosity of a workout, right? So let's make it a full body session. And I want to kind of go through this quickly so doesn't take like too long. Full body session that is upper focused. So when I say that sort of thing, that means I'm going to do the upper movements first because I want that to be like where you're getting most of your output on, right? So if we're going to start this, we're going to start with a quick warm up, and we're not going to do arm circles.
Don't forget the arm circles, dude.
I do like the 5-minute cardio piece that we see here, which is like treadmill, walker, bike, something like that, just to kind of get the heart rate going and the breath going. Now,
Uh-oh. Well,
Can you hear me?
now I can. You
Okay.
said now, and then cut out.
Can you hear me now? We're good?
Yeah, we can. We can hear you.
Okay.
You're good.
I think I just hit my mic on accident. But what would you go for in a warm up?
So, I mean, I personally like getting some type of spinal, like T-spine rotation in there.
Okay.
So maybe like either
So
a
maybe we'll
thread the
say like
needle.
open book stretch.
Yeah, thread the needle, open book. Maybe even like a world's greatest. Something to kind of get their body moving a little bit and keep them less tight, essentially,
Okay.
through that thoracic
Cool.
spine.
So we got open book, thread the needle. I like to personally go with some sort of like, I like the PVC pass throughs. They just feel really good on my chest and my shoulders. I
Yeah.
like to do PVC pass through and then like a reverse PVC pass through. So those are always good for me for the upper. And then I also like band pull aparts.
Yep.
And then anything else?
Are we looking at just upper for warm up right now?
Yeah, just the upper part right now. We'll do a little bit lower as well, but
Maybe some type of something to get like the serratus working a little bit, whether it's like serratus rocks or scapular push-ups or like a serrated press with a band.
we'll go
Something to-
serratus movement.
Yeah, just serratus movement in general.
So what I would recommend, obviously, well, let's go through this first and then we'll talk about it. And then for lower body, right? So I always like single leg RDLs. I always like airplanes. I also like knee hugs.
Yep.
And those are usually like my go-to. Is there anything else that you like for the lower body?
I personally like moving on a lateral plane in a warm up because it wakes up the brain quite a bit, and also we tend to be kind of tight in that range of motion anyway. So maybe like a low switch Cossack squat or just like an alternating Cossack squat, and then something maybe for like the hip flexors just to get them
Okay.
working a little bit.
So Cossack squat.
So
And then
whether
we
it's
got-
like air squats or a bottom of squat hold, something like that.
Okay, cool. So then really what I would recommend for a lot of this stuff is like, that's a lot of movements. I would choose like 2 of each. So I would choose 2 of those pieces that you think will help you the most, or pieces that you know you struggle with overall, and pieces that, you know, like for example, when I do warm-ups, I usually always do some sort of like thoracic rotation movement and some sort of like PVC pass through, just because I enjoy it. It feels good. It opens up my shoulders. It's always feels good for me, and I feel like I perform better. Then for the lower body, I always do RDLs, airplanes, and knee hugs. That's just what feels good for me. So if there's something you know feels good, or you know is like, hey, I struggle in this area, I would pick something based around those movements and try to have that allow you to drive your warm up, right? So then cut this out. We're going to go into the actual workout, and we're going to base this off of this first workout here. So if we're going full body, right, just something I want to let everybody know, there's about 7 main patterns we're going to want to talk about as we go full body. We got squat, we got hinge, we got push, we got pull, we got single leg, we got core, and then we got carry. Right? Now, inside a squat, we're good. Hinge, we're good. Push, we have vertical and horizontal. Pull, we got vertical and horizontal. And literally just, if I'm pushing, vertical up over my head, horizontal out in front of me, right? For both. Single leg, we have squat, and then single leg, we have hinge, core, and then carry, right? And then carry, we have obviously the variations, single arm, double arm. So if we're going to break this down into a workout, if we have 2 full body days, we're going to want to hit a version of these in every single session, right? And one of the ways that I usually like to look at this is I'll go like one day is a vertical focus and one day is a horizontal focus, because that kind of like takes into account some of those pieces. The other thing I like to do is one of those is a squat focus and then one of those is a hinge focus, right? And then the other thing I like to do is we have like a single leg hinge and a single leg squat. So that's just kind of depending on the rest of the day. And really, it depends on the other movement. Like if you want to go, like I'm going to explain here in a second. And then the other piece I'd go is like anti-rotation and then rotation for core. So anti-rotation and then rotation and then actually carry as well. Carry, we might go like double arm and then single arm. Anything that you want to add there, or you think?
Core, you could also do like a anti-flexion and extension type thing.
Yep.
And then another thing I like to do, like sometimes I'll do more of a horizontal focus one day, vertical the other. If I'm trying to keep myself like kind of warm in all planes of motion throughout the entire week, if I do a horizontal press, I might do a vertical pull and vice versa. So I'll just like, instead of pairing a horizontal and a horizontal, I'll do one horizontal, one vertical, and swap it on the other day.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So breaking that down, I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible because I don't want you guys to get like too confused listening to this. But just to kind of recap. So 2 to 3 full body days per week, 1 to 2 aerobic sessions per week. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday is what I find to be the best split for most people on 4 days. If you're doing 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday would probably be best. And we can kind of like adjust it from there. If you're doing 2 days, it might be Monday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday. I feel like I'm about to sneeze.
Get it.
I think we're good. And then we're breaking into that full body. So if we're looking at day 1, the way that this was already designed was a machine chest press, a lat pull down, seated dumbbell shoulder press, seated cable row, dumbbell bicep curl, rope tricep push down, and then plank, right? So if we come back to what we just decided. So if I was going to build this out, I would usually have my first day be like a horizontal day, right? And that would be mainly like big lifts that are out in front of us. So if we're going to make this an upper focused day, then our first couple movements are going to want to be upper focused, right? So if we're going to do this, I usually, and you know, tell me anything that you would want to change here. I usually go superset fashion, just because if you're doing like 7 different movements in a session like we have here,
it'll take forever.
It could take a really long time, and it could be a lot on the body. So if we were to go through this, I'd probably do something, let's say dumbbell bench press, or let's say chest press machine, just because it's on here, right?
Yeah.
And I would probably go something along the lines of like 2 to 3 sets, and then like 8 to 10 reps, right? And then to complement that, I would do some sort of rowing, some horizontal row. So what do you want to say? Like a seated cable row? We could go, let's make it easy. We'll go 3. What?
I was going to say, we do seated cable row because it's right there. Like, that's what it already chose.
I know sometimes with gyms it's a little bit, but like this could be any sort of horizontal row. This could be seated row. This could be a machine. This could be a dumbbell, like 3-point row, chest supported row, seal row, anything like that. But we're going to go seated cable row. And we're going to do 2 to 3 sets times 8 to 10 reps, right? So those are our first 2 workouts. So we got a push horizontal, and then we have a pull horizontal, right? And how I'm going to show you guys, or I'm going to talk you through this at the end, so you guys can either write this down, or I'll figure something out where I can post the actual thing. And then we got B1 and B2, right? So we did if we're going down the checklist, we did our horizontal push, our horizontal pull, right? So now let's kind of talk about a squat and a hinge. Where would your head go with that?
If we're doing squat and hinge, I would probably start with maybe something like a goblet squat for them. Okay. Something simple.
So we got goblet squat. This one I would probably keep at, what do you think, 2 to 3 sets?
Yeah, I think 2 to 3 sets is fine.
Maybe like 6 to 8 reps.
Yeah.
And then for the hinge, what are you thinking?
For hinge, the only reason I'm a little hesitant is because I don't want to throw so much at them for 2 lower body back to back. We could go something like a dumbbell RDL.
Cool.
Just keep it pretty simple.
So we'll go dumbbell RDL, 2 to 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps, right? So So A1 and A2, mind you, the thing I want you to notice the difference here, right? When you're doing something like Chat GPT just wrote, these are all separate movements. So you're going to be, it's a lot easier to push. It's a lot easier to kind of like push these movements and get a lot more out of them. And we're really like,
As far
cause
as weight
fatigue to the
goes.
body. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're doing supersets, you're going to get more done. You're moving for longer periods of time, and you're not going to be able to go as heavy just because you're doing back-to-back patterns, right? So when you look at this, we have our chest press, 2 to 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps, seated cable row, 2 to 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps, and we're resting in between each of these for about 2 minutes, we'll say. And I think that's important, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to do chest press, 8 to 10 reps, seated cable row, 8 to 10 reps, rest for 2 minutes. Then we're going to go back to the top and do the same thing, go back to the top, do the same thing, right? Then for the second part, we're going to do goblet squats and RDLs, 6 to 8 reps each, rest for 2 minutes, back to the top. Does that make sense? Right? I'm not saying anything wrong there.
No, sir.
Cool. So then we got kind of a decision on what we can do here for our last piece. So we can go C1, C2. So we could either go a single leg squat and hinge, or we can just go core and carry, and then we can swap the single, because this is another thing I'd like to do, and we can save the single leg squat and hinge for the other day. So I say we go core and carry. So maybe we go farmer's carry, and we go as heavy as possible for 30 to 45 seconds times 3 sets. And then we go, let's just do a straight arm plank.
Love it.
And then we're going to go 30 to 60 seconds. So, day 1, okay? We got 3 supersets. And I'm going to explain why this is different, right? So 3 supersets. Superset 1 is chest press and seated cable row. 2 to 3 sets for both, 8 to 10 reps for both with 2 minutes of rest in between, okay? Then we got the goblet squat, 2 to 3 sets for each, and the dumbbell RDL with 6 to 8 reps each, and then 2-minute rest. And then we got the farmer's carry as heavy as possible, 30 to 40 seconds times 3 sets, with the plank 30 to 60 seconds times 3 reps. Now, why this is different is kind of what I just explained, right? We're going through and we have supersets, so it's a little bit more efficient. We're getting a little bit more done quicker because we're doing back-to-back movements. This is going to force us to not go so heavy in some of these patterns because it's going to be really hard to go back-to-back with some of these movements. And we're going to get this done in a lot quicker time, right? Imagine having to go through 7 different exercises, rest 2 minutes in between each one. That's going to be almost 6 to 7 minutes per exercise. Like, it's going to be pushing over an hour if you're efficient, right?
Yeah.
With this, we could probably get this done in 45 minutes, especially if we're early on in that process. And this is going to be very efficient throughout the week. And I'm going to show you how this is going to be very efficient, right? This first day might not look very different. You might be looking at this and be like, well, we're technically doing more reps. We're technically doing just the same amount of sets. So like, what's actually the difference here, right? But anything else you want to change to that first day?
No, I think when we go into the second day, we can kind of dive in a little bit further.
Cool. So now we're going to go to day 2, right? And this is what we'll do for this one is we're going to do, we'll do 2 days and then we'll explain how it would look different if you were going to do 3. So with a vertical day, we're still going to kind of have that same layout. So we're going to have A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, right? And this is going to be the same structure. Now, this being a vertical focus day, this means we're going to pick movements that are a little bit more overhead for the press. So we started the last movement or the last day with the press. So why don't we start this one with the lower body? So we didn't do any single leg on the first day. So let's choose a single leg squat and a single leg hinge.
I like it. Let's
So what do
go
you think?
with single leg hinge. Let's do a. Do you want to start them on like an assisted single leg deadlift, or do you want to do more of like a B stance, kickstand
Let's
style?
go. Let's go single leg assisted.
Single leg assisted. I like it.
And we're going to put that as the second movement. We're going to go 2 to 3 sets times 6 to 8 reps per side. And then what do you think? Maybe we're thinking this is someone who's new. So probably like a split squat.
Yeah.
We'll go
It would be
either
between
assisted
like,
split squat or like, what do you
yeah,
think?
that's what I was gonna say. Either like an assisted just to get them the balance, but if they have the balance, maybe give the option of assisted for that one. Like do like either an assisted split squat if needed, or if you can hold the balance, just go regular split squat. This way we work on some stability a little bit, since we already have an assisted one.
Cool. So we got A1 as the split squat with the option of assistance, 2 to 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps. A2 is the single leg assisted RDL, 2 to 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps per side. And then again, resting 2 minutes in between each of these sets, right? I'm going to actually turn the screen sharing off
Yeah.
now that we're diving into this. Okay, and then let's choose movement 2. So with movement 2 or superset 2, we're going to start to pick an overhead movement that's vertical. So I would probably go early on like a shoulder press machine.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd go 2 to 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps. Actually, probably 8 to 10 reps here. And then let's go lat pull down.
Yes, sir.
2 to 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps, right? So now we got vertical press. We got single leg squat, single leg hinge, vertical press, vertical pull, and then we're going back into core. So we could go. We did anti flexion with the plank. So maybe now we'll do suitcase carry, and then we're gonna go 30 seconds as heavy as possible times 3 sets per side. And then what do you think for the core movement?
I mean, we could do something that's like, I was thinking anti-rotation would be cool, or we can even do, because it's cool. 'Cause you said suitcase for the carry,
Yeah.
so we're already kind of getting more like oblique style there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I think maybe in terms of core, we can do maybe something a little more dynamic, like
I was thinking
form
more
of like a
dynamic.
chop. Yeah,
Cool.
it's like a
We'll do
chop or a lift or something like that.
kettlebell chop. Anything a little bit less skilled or less intense? Because I know that's not too hard, but like, something that
I mean, halos. What always do like
halos.
halos. We could
Okay.
do. Yeah, I don't know. That's just the first thing I got off the top of my head.
Cool. So we got kettlebell chops. We'll go 8 to 10 reps per side, and then we'll go 3 sets.
Perfect.
All right, so day 2, we got assisted split squats, 2 to 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps. Same thing for the single leg assisted RDL with 2 minutes of rest, and that's going to be our superset number 1. Then our superset number 2, we got the shoulder press machine into the lat pull down, and then we got 2 to 3 sets, 6 to 10 reps. Okay.
Cool.
Got number 3, we have the suitcase carry, 30 seconds as heavy as possible, 3 sets per side, into the kettlebell chop or halo, 8 to 10 reps times 3 sets per side. Okay.
Awesome.
You can obviously see that covers all the movements that we had laid out, right? If we were,
You cut out. I think you might have turned off your mic or something. Some small technical difficulties today.
I keep trying to move my mic and
It's
can you hear me?
better. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why it's doing that. Anyways, I lost my train of thought.
We were saying that we have pretty much every movement laid out.
So in those 2 days, we have everything from these patterns laid out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we were going to add a third day, what I would probably do is I would probably take some of these patterns and just move them over that are like main movements, right? Like I would consider the chest press and a seated cable row like a main movement, right? I would also consider the goblet squat and a dumbbell RDL a main movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like if I was going to rewrite this, I might even switch the single leg stuff and put it on the
Yeah.
horizontal day, and the goblet squat and RDL and put that on the second day, because those are like big movements that you want to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, the point, what we would do on like a third day is we'd probably switch. So keep the chest press and the seated cable row on the first day, probably move the goblet squat and the dumbbell RDL to the second day, and then maybe move a couple movements over to the third day and spread that out just a little bit more, and then have a little bit more of like an upper focus on the first day, a lower focus on the second day, and then a little bit more of like whatever we don't hit on those other days. Like that third day tends to be a like, what do you call it?
Secondary movement slash
Yeah, like
accessory
just like kind of
style.
cleaning up the things you didn't hit throughout the week.
Yeah.
And then for the cardio days, realistically, if you're new in the gym,
Before we get to cardio, I just want to add one thing too.
yeah,
If we're doing 2 days, typically what I like to do as well is if we're doing like I'll have one single leg movement on one day, another single leg on another,
Yeah.
and then instead of having two double and two single, I'll have one single, one double, one single, one double, and then I might even switch it up for a 2 day to give a little bit more of a. I might do this more for 3 day too, but if I have an upper movement, I'll pair it with a lower, and then an upper and a lower,
Yeah, I was
so they
gonna
can give
say
a
that
little
too. Like,
more
we definitely
output
could do
to
that.
it. But that would be the only change that I would really make to that,
Yeah.
if anything.
I think, yeah, I was going to say, I think also on top of that, another easy thing early on, if you're like, I don't really want to do single leg stuff, I just don't feel comfortable, or I don't get the vertical and horizontal. Like if you just did our first day multiple times throughout the week, you'd get a lot done, right? And you'd get a very good workout in a couple times per week. But to show you the variety, to show you how to build that stuff, like that's why we're kind of going through all this. So I like that point. Anything else before I move on?
No, let's go into that
Cool.
cardio
So
stuff.
for the cardio, I know a lot of people are probably thinking like, oh, I got to run or I got to do something crazy. Like usually when I start out with people, it's 30 minutes of just movement, right? So I usually start with walking. If they're proficient at the bike and they like can sit on it for that long, biking, ellipticals. If you're good at running, like something where you're just moving consistently for 30 minutes. It doesn't really matter what you're doing as much as like you're doing something for 30 minutes over the course of the week and doing it multiple times throughout the week, right? We want to try to accumulate like 60 to 90 minutes of movement. And to me, that's like a really good starting point in regards to like general health. And when I mean movement of just like not including your lifting days, this is just like cardio on top of your lifting days, right? So again, walking, biking, elliptical, running, simple things that like don't take up a lot of time, don't take up a lot of fatigue. So you're not doing a 30-minute walk and then being like, oh my God, I don't know if I can lift tomorrow, right? It's like, okay, I'm doing a 30-minute walk and I'm like, wow, I feel really good. I'm outside, I'm breathing fresh air. Or, all right, I'm doing really good. I'm on the treadmill, throw a little incline on that. And really, you're exactly what you need to be. Like, there isn't much else you really need to be doing throughout the week, right? So let's take one step back and look at what we just kind of came up with, right? Anything you want to add to the cardio piece?
No, I was just gonna say sometimes like depending on their vibe, if they like moving a lot and they don't like sitting still, I might give them one day where it's something simple like a bike or a walk or whatever it might be, and then the second day might be more of a not for time Metcon style where they could just continue to move with different things. But again, that kind of comes down to preference, just like a 2 or 3 day lifting would come down to preference as well.
Yeah, cool. So there's a lot more variety, right? Oh, let me rephrase, because there's a lot more variety in the chat GPT. There's a lot more intentional variety here, right? We're following the patterns we need to be hitting throughout the week. We're having intentional cardio. We're putting this in a way where there's clear routes of progression, right? And I want you to notice a couple of things right away. The clear routes of progression. There's a lot of things here right off the bat that if you were to say, okay, well, like that's cool, but how do I progress this, right? I'd probably stick with these for at least a month, these workouts. And then from here, we have a lot of ways we can go. We can progress chest press to dumbbells. We can progress seated row to 3-point row. We can progress goblet squat into a double kettlebell front squat. We can progress it into a leg press. We can progress it into there's a lot of different progressions that come next. The dumbbell RDL, not really something we need to progress, but we could progress to a barbell. We could progress to, dual dumbbell where we're holding 2 dumbbells so we can increase the load. A lot of areas there. Farmer's carry, we could get heavier. We can load in the front rack. We can load overhead. Obviously, all progressions. The plank, we can go from a forearm plank to a straight arm plank to, we can start to work on the hollow hold. We can start to work on like through that that entire progression. So there's like so many core progressions, stiff anti-flexion extension core, the progressions that we can kind of work on throughout that, right? Then day 2, we got the assisted split squat, which obviously the next route is to not use assistance, and then is to slowly add weight. Then we got the single leg RDL assisted, same idea, slowly take away assistance and then add resistance. We got the shoulder press machine, which then transitions into dumbbell overhead press. We got the lat pull down, which then hopefully transitions into pull up type movements. Then we got the suitcase carry, which can go into like a single arm front rack carry or a single arm overhead carry. And then the chops can turn into like cable chops. They can turn into med ball slam, like that sort of thing, where we can like start to progress some of these patterns in a more aggressive way, right? Biggest thing I want you guys to also realize is that you don't have to progress some of these movements. You can just continuously add weight throughout each week until you get to a certain point. You can add more reps, you can add more sets, and then we can kind of like, that's where the structure would go. Personally, for me, if I was going to have someone who's never stepped foot in the gym before, they would probably do the same workout, like the same structure with more reps and then a little bit more weight, like in the second month. So it'd be like month 1 would be like 8 to 10 reps would be the first week. Then it would be 8 to 12 reps, or well, it'd be like set a weight, 8 to 10 at the heaviest weight. Then it would be 8 to 12, and then it would be one more set, right? And you're kind of building that in throughout the week. Then the second month would look like less reps, more weight, because they're able to push that a little bit more. And then they're still getting that intensity and working on the same skill. So they're not having to focus on like, okay, the entire movements have changed. I have to learn all these new movements. It's the same thing across the month, but now we're doing less reps and more weight. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would say too, when someone's beginning, kind of like you said, you would want them to do very similar exercises and just progress the reps and sets, all that stuff. The reason why it's so important is because in the beginning, there's so much of an adaptation and sense of growth that you don't want to pull something away too soon before a plateau might hit.
Yep.
So you'll have such like, as you start to become more advanced, you have these peaks and valleys, a little bit more like a little bit of strength, and you kind of plateau, strength, and then plateau. And you have to constantly change things. When somebody's new, you can keep it very, very similar, and you'll see a very linear, very, very linear progression, I guess. So that's one reason. But then another reason is, assuming that this person is new to the gym, they're going to need to learn all of these movements, and to be most efficient in it, it's going to take time and repetition. And reps is the best way to get somebody to learn how to move a little bit better. Just like everything else you do in life, it just takes reps. And in that sense, again, if you're changing it over and over and over, they might start to build that movement pattern, and then you change it on them. Now they got to learn another one before they fully master the old. So keeping them on the same thing isn't just because of progression in terms of strength, but it's also progression in terms of movement and motor control.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is there anything else you want to add to that, or can we just get into the review?
Yeah, let's get into the review. Yeah.
Cool. So just to kind of wrap this up, and then I'm going to kind of dive into how the podcast is going to progress over the next couple of weeks, because it's going to build off of this. Like, and this is a cool. I like the structure this is going to be, because we started week 1, and by week 8, we're hoping that you guys can like take home a program that you could either do or have some questions on and kind of go from there. So we started with asking or talking about the actual sessions you should be doing throughout the week. So we got 2 to 3 full body workouts per week and 1 to 2 aerobic sessions per week. Then we got Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday as our split. If you're doing 3 days a week, it'd probably look like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or it could be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever works best for your schedule. Those days could be split up. Then we talk about the warm-up. We got 5 minutes of cardio. Could be bike, row, ski, swim, whatever is going to help you feel better, just to get the body moving, blood pumping, break a little bit of a sweat. Pick 2 of each movement. So we got some upper body thoracic rotations, PVC pass-throughs, band pull-aparts, serratus movements. Choose 2 of those movements to work on the warm-up, and then 2 of the lower body ones. So we got RDLs, airplanes, knee hugs, Cossack squats, and air squats, right? Then we break down into our patterns. We got the squat, hinge, push, vertical and horizontal, pull, vertical and horizontal, single leg, squat and hinge, core, and then carry, right? So for each of those, we're trying to hit those throughout the week in each session if we can in some capacity. The way we did that was the first day was of horizontal focus. We got chest press 2 to 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps, seated cable row 2 to 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps with 2 minutes rest. Then we got a goblet squat 2 to 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps with the dumbbell RDL 2 to 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps, rest for 2 minutes. Then we got farmer's carry as heavy as possible, 30 to 45 seconds by 3 reps, and then plank 3 sets, 30 to 60 seconds, right? Then the second day, we have assisted split squats and single leg RDLs that are assisted, 2 to 3 sets by 6 to 8 reps for each, rest 2 minutes 2 minutes in between. Then we got the shoulder press machine and the lat pull down. Both of those are 2 to 3 sets times 6 to 8 reps. And then we got the suitcase carry and the kettlebell chop or halo. And we got 30 seconds for the suitcase carry per side, and then 8 to 10 reps for the halo or the chop per side for 3 sets. Okay. In between that, whatever days you choose, 30 minutes of cardio, walking, biking, elliptical, running, whatever it is that you can maintain at a good pace for at least 30 minutes. And that's the program, right? And there's really nothing else you have to add to it. There's really nothing else you have to, worry about, especially if you're brand new. And I think that's it.
Yeah. The last thing is just looking at the volume again of what ChatGPT gave and what we gave. The reps may be up there, but the total volume in terms of sets per exercise is going to be a lot less. In terms of recovery as well, you're not hitting all of those leg exercises in one day. So you'll be able to hit a little bit of it, recover a little bit more. And when it comes to the volume, in beginners specifically, less is more. Mm-hmm. As you become, we've talked about this, as you become more advanced, you need to do a little more specificity with your exercises and your progression and a little more volume. In the beginning, you can do literally 2 days can be enough to for multiple different goals in the fitness realm. So you can just gain strength, become overall just better fit. You can get more size to you. Pretty much everything. 2 days will be enough if you are a beginner to lifting weights. Yeah,
100%. And the other thing I didn't really talk about here is tempos as well. Not too important early on, but if you work with someone like myself or Jerry, you're going to see a lot of like tempos written in, and those are basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the way we want you to complete the pattern, right? The speed at which we want you to complete it. So I'm not going to dive into that now, but those are definitely something else you can add in there as well. So I want to quickly touch on before we end this, the next couple of weeks. So for next week, we're going to be diving into this program, but changing it based on like what you're training for, right? So whether you're someone who's training for a marathon or you're someone who's training for, any aspect of life, we're going to change some of these things and adjust them, and we're going to base it off the program that's there. Can you give me 1 second?
Yeah. So that's another thing just to look at as far as progression is obviously.
Someone rang my doorbell.
Oh, really? It's UPS.
No, I hope it is. I was getting something in the mail. That's why.
Hey. So really quick, I was going to say one more thing as far as progression is obviously when we do talk about that, your goal is going to just like kind of determine what it will look like, and that's why we're going to cover it. But on top of that, the less is more factor will still be pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Not vivid, apparent. You won't need a ton of volume in the beginning. So that's going to be cool to look at versus someone who's a little more advanced.
Yeah, exactly.
Which our listeners may be starting to be more intermediate and advanced as well. Yeah. So if you're watching this as like someone who's been lifting for a few years and you're like, dude, that's like nothing. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah. So I think it's really important. I also think the week after that, we're going to talk about how to fix your training program, right? And why our training programs are different. And hopefully you can kind of see that today with the way this is written. And then we're going to kind of dive into a couple different episodes. But I think at the end of that, you should have a really good understanding of programming, program design, all of that stuff, and kind of how, and I want you guys to see the difference between ChatGPT and then BGPerform and Jerry Nova Strength Hayes. There's a lot more
thought, my middle name.
There's a lot more detail. What?
I said, that's my middle name.
Jerry Nova Strength Hayes. And just kind of see, because I think with ChatGPT kind of coming to light, I just started using Claude, by the way. But
yeah, we're going to have to talk about that.
Conversation for a different time, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
Scotland forever.
Scotland forever. That's stupid. So dumb. But yes, so up to this point, I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. If you have any questions, please reach out. If you want to work with myself and Jerry and you're tired of typing shit into ChatGPT, then type into your Google or to your Google Chrome. I think everybody uses Google Chrome. No one
Either
uses
that or Safari.
Mozilla
You're still using,
Firefox.
yeah, still using Firefox.
Type in
Microsoft Edge.
bgperform.com/training, and it's going to have all the information on there. You can fill out the intake form, and then I will get back to you, or Jerry will get back to you as soon as possible. Or you can click the link in my bio or Jerry's bio, which will take you to all those places as well. Check out the podcast. I just put out a new episode of BG Perform Reacts. If you are a coach and you're looking to improve your coaching and looking to take it that next step in your career and really build like a real coaching career, hit me up about the Coach Connect. We have that call every single Tuesday at 2 p.m. And I think that's it. Anything on your end?
Pretty much it. Hard Gainer series is going to continue. We took a little break on vacation, and then this week just got slammed with a cold, so I didn't record anything, but we will be back very shortly, so you'll be seeing more,
the hard
more of
gainers.
those videos.
Let's go.
Yeah, more Hard Gainer stuff, so
Let's go.
Be on the lookout for that.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.